Gregory Cicero Lunsford. In the words of the esteemed Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, you're holding up traffic. Green means go. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for tuning into my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 14. I thought that this was just an okay episode, you know. We are already coming up on the finale next week, and that is absolutely insane. That is insane. This season really didn't give a whole lot, and I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but it seems as though a lot of what we tuned into for what made the show good surrounded Greg, Sweet Tea, Quad, and King. I hate that I'm saying that, but Gregory is not a part of this cast, and he is holding up production. He and Sweet Tea need to go. And before we get into it, go ahead and hit the like button for me. When you hit the like button, it's a free way to support the channel and also let YouTube know that I'm here and that you all are rocking with my commentary, so YouTube starts to shoot my content out to other viewers. Go ahead and hit subscribe for me as well. I'm just really stunned at the following that I have amassed off of Married to Medicine. You guys have really surprised me. Last year when I covered Married to Medicine, it was very touch and go. But anyway, I really appreciate you all for just rocking with me and being so supportive down in the chat, down in the premieres with me, heavily engaging in the comments. I really, really love and appreciate you all so much. So let's go ahead and get into it. Did you hit subscribe? You hit subscribe, right? All right, shout out to you. We start this episode with Jackie and Simone having lunch at Jackie's office. Jackie did let Simone know that Phaedra paid the rest of the $47K, and also that Phaedra doesn't want to come around the group anymore because they brought Apollo around. Phaedra, you playing victim because you can't manipulate the situation in the way that you want to is really rich to me. So I'm glad that Phaedra's gone. I feel like how Rodney feels. She got a call from RHOA and she said, deuces.
Okay, that's fine. You can leave. So I am trying to figure this all out.
And that was pretty much that, because otherwise I do feel like you would have stuck it out with these ladies for a check. I believe that if she didn't get that call for RHOA, then she would have stuck around this group being the same evasive, elusive character that she's always been in this group. So whatever, it kind of is what it is. Phaedra is always lying, so I'm glad that they're all moving past this. Jackie and Simone also have a cackle and a key together about Gregory's song.
Set me free. I wanna be free from the bullshit. I gotta be free. Now, I'm a man, I'm just a man. And I'm not perfect, but I cannot stand for somebody to lie to me. Choose me to stuff that I can do. I know I'm working hard to move on. Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life now. I got a brand new wife now. I wanna move through my life now. I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child in my world. So I really don't appreciate the bullshit. Appreciate the bullshit. Keep it moving with the bullshit. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. Hey, that's what I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Woo!
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job. In the next scene, we have Contessa and Heavenly meeting up for lunch. It really didn't seem like they got too far into their conversation. They're going to have to agree to disagree. Contessa is still carrying on with this narrative that Heavenly called her husband abusive out of nowhere. Contessa, you asked her, do you think my husband's abusive? And she yelled yes to you. You asked her. So I don't understand what the issue is. Somebody asked her on YouTube and she said, yes, she felt like emotionally your husband was abusive. We all watched you and Scott on our TVs together. I still can't stand your husband, Toucan Sam. I do not like Scott at all, based on the way he treated you. It was emotionally and psychologically abusive. Now, Contessa wants to play this game of semantics, talking about, oh, I said my husband was volatile. I didn't say that he was abusive. Girl, when most people think volatile within intimate relationships, they think abuse. We're not going to sit here and play this word game with Contessa. Like, she's extremely manipulative to me, and I was rooting for you, Contessa. I was happy to see you coming back, and now I have to eat my words. I'm really disappointed in Contessa this season. Contessa says that she wants to host a health fair alongside, I think it was the American Kidneys Association. I can't remember. Anyway, somebody's going to drop down in the comments and correct me. So I appreciate you for that in advance. So Contessa says that she is inviting everybody. Heavenly says that this is not a good idea. And Contessa is saying, why not? Acting like she doesn't understand why. Contessa being obtuse in this situation, seemingly because she likes sweet tea, is really odd to me. You can't act as though there's not a real elephant in the room. There's a real issue. Like, things got violent between these people. Gregory is a disrespectful person. We have Toya and Eugene having a conversation about getting the group together. Eugene got his toe ran over. That's unfortunate. But in any case, I really didn't like how Eugene was saying, oh, well, you know, Greg was asking me, are we friends with King? And the reality of the situation is we weren't even cool with Quad last year. Eugene, you're dragging this. Toya is trying to move forward and you're trying to pull them backwards. And that doesn't really make any sense to me. And Eugene, I like you, but I really don't like how you're moving in this situation because you're talking out of both sides of your neck. On one hand, with the guys, you're saying that you don't agree with the way in which Gregory moved. You, to Gregory's face, were asking him like, oh, so you really called the cops? Did he touch you? I understand that y'all have a friendship, but it don't even give me that y'all have some big friendship like that. It really does not give that, like, I don't know. And I also feel like you and Scott were sitting in Greg's face and y'all were not willing to tell him the truth. Like, y'all were just being very passive about the whole situation, it seems, because you didn't want to hurt Gregory's feelings, and that is hurting the show. And y'all know that Gregory was dead ass wrong because this is the consensus of all of the men when they get together. So now we're at Quad's house with King. Quad is telling him that she had a conversation with Heavenly and she feels as though the natural progression is them exploring moving in together. I really didn't like that she was like, oh, me and the girls were talking, me and Heavenly were talking. You don't need to be like, oh, me and so were discussing. It's something that you want to do. It's something that's on your mind. So don't use that as a way to kind of have this conversation. That's kind of odd. That will irritate me. He says that I really don't see myself moving into your house. Maybe we could get a place together. And I agree with King on this one. You guys were talking about this in the comments last week too, that it's better for them to get a place together. Listen, we're not going to act like on Mad Day that people don't be like, oh, this is my house. I'm not saying that Quad would do that, but it's a reality of the situation that could very well happen. So I think it's a good idea for them to get a place together. You rent out your place. You rent out your place as well, and you all can make money on the side while cohabitating. In the next scene, we have Simone, Cecil, and those bums that they call sons. I don't want to talk about these bums. One is steady brushing his hair forward. You don't need to be brushing your hair forward because there's a piece right here on his head that is like it's sitting like a rug in the front of his head, and I wish he would get a haircut instead of like pulling all of that hair forward. The other son, he also needs a haircut. They look like they stink. The apartment looks stink. The whole situation just looks stink. And I fast forwarded the second time that I had to watch this. Next up, we are going over to Contessa's health fair. So we have Heavenly and Damon on the ride over discussing this situation with King and Gregory. Damon feels like he has not met a more peaceful person than King in a long time, and he doesn't understand why he can't come around the group because he's like, nobody got touched. That's his logic. It was really good to see the doctors interacting with the people, giving them information about how to prevent diabetes, Heavenly talking with the people about the importance of taking care of your teeth. I really enjoy seeing them together doing their community work, and it's nice to see them in their element. Y'all, why did Damon say that he likes wrestling because it taught him how to maneuver his wife really well? Damon, please. Because any other time Heavenly is talking about y'all having sex together, you're always telling her to hush, or, you know, you can tell that you're slightly embarrassed by this, or a little bit shy, a little bit bashful. So now all of a sudden you're divulging details about y'all's sex life. I feel like Heavenly put you up to that, Damon. Quad is telling the group that she will be leaving when the Lunsfords arrive, and Contessa is trying to act like she doesn't know what's going on. She's like, oh, we can choose Quad and choose T. How they gonna choose T when T keeps defaulting to Greg? Contessa is talking out of both sides of her neck because she feels like T and Gregory should be around. She doesn't understand why it's an issue, but at the same time, in her confessional, she's saying that Sweet Tea is married to the same man that Quad was. I'm not about to play with Contessa. She's getting on my nerves. Heavenly is trying to tell Contessa that is not a great idea. It doesn't really make sense. Contessa starts getting loud. It's a mess. Heavenly in her after show is saying that Contessa started yelling at her own event. It was embarrassing. And then we have the men outside discussing the situation with King and Gregory. The men are on King's side. King is actually willing to have a conversation and Greg is not. Greg is not willing to move forward at all. They don't agree with Greg, and they don't like or agree with the fact that Gregory called the cops for King. They feel like it's unnecessary. It seems like only one side is trying to move forward here, and the side that was wrong and strong and provocative in the first place, the ones who are contributing to the discord and dysfunction of this group, they don't want to acknowledge at all where they're wrong. Toya was saying that she tried to have a conversation with Sweet Tea, and she doesn't want to own her part. Sweet Tea, according to the girls, gets wild. She gets buck wild. She gets out of control. Something that I forgot was how she started getting buck with and on her own sister. That should let y'all know what time it is with Sweet Tea. I believe every word that Toya is saying about Sweet Tea acting wild as hell. Erica De Niro TV says this, that she thinks that Sweet Tea is getting a great edit. I think she is too. Because the way she's always throwing her body around and trying to fight. Heavenly was talking a little shit at her at the church last year. She acted like she wanted to fight in the church. She was moving to fight Heavenly in the church. She has no couth. She has no tact. She has no decorum whatsoever. Who fights in churches? Who does stuff like that? Sweet Tea. Who just ups and tries to fight their sister and throwing their body around trying to get to their sister. Meanwhile, her sister wasn't even doing anything to her. She was just trying to talk to her, trying to calm her down. Sweet Tea is wild as hell. Toya is asking her, do you want to be in this group? And she's saying, oh, I'll leave that up to Gregory. Girl, you're the castmate. You're the one who's getting paid. Gregory's not getting paid. So we get a flashback of Gregory telling the men that the only person that can make this right is Quad because he doesn't know him.
This is a sick Negro.
But you used to drag Quad down the steps and you used to be tearing TVs off the wall. So why do you need to talk to Quad? Talk to her about what? She said what she said. She said that she left you, which is a fact. She said that Sweet Tea makes a perfect wife for my ex-husband. That's a fact. What does she need to say to you? Something about that is very unhinged and very deranged to me. You were in a hostile, volatile relationship with Quad. Y'all don't need to have any conversation. The issue is with you and King because you told that man that you disrespected Quad and he told you, I don't want you talking to her anymore. You got all of this energy for the women, but none for the men. You want to go over there and fuck with Quad some more. Unhinged. Also, something that I wanted to say is how disappointing it has been as a black woman watching how the audience is responding to what is going on as it is related to Quad and King. You know, people saying that they didn't believe Quad before, but they believe her now. And I'm so confused, but we're not going to sit up here and act like it's not misogynoir. You know, misogyny directed towards black women specifically. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I understand folks not liking that woman, but what makes you not believe somebody who is sitting there crying and telling their story? We saw Gregory say, oh, I never liked that things got that far. So why would you not believe Quad? Like, I'm so... Anyway, it's wild to me that Gregory is on camera being verbally and emotionally abusive to two women on our TV screens, but he can't even have a conversation with King. So Gregory and Sweet Tea are coming into the health fair, and Quad is trying to hurry Heavenly out. Like, come on, girl, we gotta go, because Contessa says that they're on their way. She's like, girl, we gotta go. Heavenly's like, bye, Contessa, get some help, girl. Contessa is talking to Sweet Tea and saying that we want to make sure that you feel safe in this group. Sweet Tea says, mentally, I don't always feel safe. Do you feel safe mentally living in that house with your husband? Quickly. I just feel like if you could handle Gregory, you could definitely handle these women. Also, I wonder what Sweet Tea's true expectation was coming into a group where you are befriending your current husband's ex-wife's friends. You don't have main character energy, girl, so you really need to go. Sweet Tea, you need to go. Gregory's not getting paid. He's not a cast member. Gregory don't run shit around here. He's holding up production as far as I'm concerned. And it's just too much conversation about, oh, you know, we need to try to work it out. We need to try to get these folks together. And then it's clear that one side is not even trying. Steve is asking Gregory if he's willing to drop the charges. Gregory says that he's not willing to be disrespected. So this is a way of Gregory putting a halt on the show. So for me, it's fuck Gregory, it's fuck Sweet Tea. The show must go on. Steve says that there are other relationships being impacted by the situation, making it feel like we have to pick a side, and you're putting us in that position. Gregory says that it's not my fault that y'all have to choose. So they're going to choose Quad, and I'm excited to see it actually. Now, you can tell that the men have lost a lot of respect for Gregory, and the wild part is that Gregory is so narcissistic that he doesn't even interpret the way that he is being perceived within this group of men. Loud, wrong, acting like a chihuahua. He clearly has a Napoleon complex, and this legal matter that he dragged everybody into is making him feel like a big, strong, it's making him feel like a strong macho man, yeah. So only when he's putting his hands on women and calling the cops on folks unnecessarily does he feel big and strong. So I took the time out and Googled Gregory Lunsford. Should have written this 3 years ago. This man was my psychiatrist at Ridgeview Institute Psychiatric Hospital in Smyrna, Georgia 3 years ago, and this man was the most numbed out, stone cold psychiatrist I have ever come across. He literally sits there and doesn't nod or acknowledge any of what you're saying like a robot and just writes down God knows what. I was supposed to be in a 72-hour hold, and he held me for 7 days. I pray to God that he doesn't even still have a practice after what he put me and many other patients through. Thank God my case manager was amazing at that time and got me out realizing he was keeping me there, putting me on random meds. Do not go to him if you're looking for someone to find you the right meds. Next review. I've seen and recommended Dr. G for a long time. Sadly, he's lost his bedside manners with me. In my opinion, his personnel being a revolving door should have been the sign to not continue giving him a chance. He should just dedicate his 100% to the shows and sell the practice to a dedicated professional, not going back. This was the worst experience of my life. I started coming to this practice because I was feeling unfocused. Yeah, I have ADHD. Greg prescribed me bipolar medication, lithium, after me telling him over and over that according to DSM, I don't have bipolar disorder. Then he prescribed me anxiety medication. I had a really bad reaction, and then I couldn't get him to change his mind. And I finally got a copy of my medical records and found out that the only reason he diagnosed me with bipolar disorder was because my brother has it. This doctor will over-medicate and ignore your concerns. Stay away. Next review. Extremely rude and unprofessional. Thinks he can evaluate you in 5 minutes and charge $2,000 per session. Next review. This man literally ruined my life. He literally drugged me with benzos and, I don't know how to say this word, Geodon. He needs a psychiatric evaluation. Next review. Worst doctor I ever had. This idiot needs his license pulled. Attempted to harm me was my experience with Lunsford. He belongs in a cage. Anyway, y'all, that was the review. Go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about this episode. You know I want to hear from you. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button on your way out. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Peace.
Come on. It's me, El Grande, or call me Papi Chulito. Yo tengo mucho loving for you mommies if you legal. For honeys, nothing equal to the way I tap that spot. Get your cat hot, guess what? You hit the jackpot. Candlelight dinners for you winners. See, I'm like Don Juan, beat me, sweetie. I get in ya. Sugar, I'ma put you in a beautiful